Hey Aries, how y'all doing? Welcome. We're going to be doing your first half of my general reading here. So let's speak briefly about your meditation. I saw the image of an architect because I saw the word Aries, and I saw the image of an architect sort of, you know how they use those brushes and they kind of get to the finer points of what's underneath the surface. I feel like you're in a place of refinement, of polishing up your skills, your circumstances, your point of view. I heard seat of power. It does feel like you're in a seat of power with this first half of life. I also saw, and this was really interesting, I saw an image of David Beckham, the used to be a pro footballer. I saw David Beckham, who also made a foray into a modeling career, interestingly enough. And you know, David Beckham's absolute legend in terms of soccer in the States or European football. He played in the States as well. And I just saw this image of like hitting the ball right into the corner pocket of the goal. Just precision and accuracy and great power. It really feels like that's the energy that you're sitting with currently, and it feels really, really good. It was interesting too because I saw the Aries collective as David Beckham sitting in and moving into like the modeling realm, and a lot of offers being made and just coming. But the thing that struck me the most was that amidst a lot of stimuli, because I do feel like there's a lot of stimuli around y'all at the moment. Amidst a lot of stimuli, offers, I feel like there's going to be a lot of communication coming in. Text message, email, phone calls, proposals. I'm seeing submitting, right? You could be applying for things. People could be applying for things with you. It really feels like there's a lot of paperwork or just communication in general. Contracts as well. It just feels like a lot of getting her done energy, but amidst all of that was this sense of calm. It was just this, and actually horses on the bottom. It does feel a bit horse-like in terms of you do feel like you're in a position of power, but there's great freedom within it because you are in. And I say this normally. I don't love the word control, but it feels like a very positive word in this context. You are in control of your circumstances. Of your mind, see, here we go. you are in a happy place of allowance and control and facility, and it feels really, really good. The zebra. So this surprises me not at all. The zebra is so beautiful, and it actually puts me in mind of an emperor energy, but sort of the medicine to the shadow aspect of the emperor energy. So the emperor, which is you guys in the tarot, has a lot of wonderful qualities. Sort of the shadow energy of the emperor and emperor out of alignment is that they have a very black and white way of thinking. There is no gray, right? It's right and wrong. It's this or that. It's the way or the highway, right? And so I love that the zebra's coming up here because the zebra is all about the gray area. All about merging two points of view. Also a bit of temperance energy here as well. Merging two points of view to see a greater picture, to see a greater whole of something, right? See these ears right here? These ears? This image that I have of you, of a lot of people coming to you in a lot of communication, I do feel like you are in a, seat of power where a lot of people are soliciting your advice, your participation, your cooperation, wanting to work with you, wanting to spend time with you and really pick your brain. I just heard that, pick your brain. And it feels really positive, and it feels like it feels like you're wearing it well, Aries. It does. It feels like you're wearing it well. Zebras represent counselors, therapists, giving really good advice. The zebra as a personality type is someone who is just incredibly reliable. And you know that they don't say anything they don't mean. They consider their words before they speak. And they always see, both sides of a coin. And therefore, they're pretty much always dead on the money in terms of advice or decisions. So I love that this came up for you. Zebra is just one of my absolute favorite energies. Whenever Zebra comes out, it's like, okay, we are about to, have some really happy perspective here and balance. It's really nice. Let's see what's going on. Oh, okay. Working it out, Aries. You have the Hierophant here. I mean, the Hierophant. This is contracts. We've been talking about that, right? This is contracts. This is happy law and order. This is the marriage key. See how the Hierophant here, and he's got these two people down here, and we've been talking about the zebra, and we're talking about seeing two sides of something, both sides of something, that medium point of view, and going, oh, we're going to live in this happy gray area, right? It's like that Rumi quote. I feel like I'm going to butcher it maybe, but I always think of the Rumi quote whenever the zebra energy comes up, which is out beyond right doing and wrong doing, there is a field. I'll meet you there. Right? Out beyond right doing and wrong doing, there is a field. I'll meet you there. And it's just a way of saying there's your version, my version, and the truth lies somewhere in the middle. I feel like you are being called into the position of, being a mediator, a counselor, or this is just the energy that you're taking on with and for yourself, where you're feeling very balanced, right? Remember when I said seat of power? Look at this. Living for it. This is really beautiful. This is also everything being exactly as it should be. And that's a really beautiful, beautiful energy to have come up, especially currently. It just feels really good. It feels really stable and solid. Very good. So we have the Nine of Wands here. And this also makes a lot of sense in terms of, the wands rule the realm of the soul, right? The nine is the, last marker point before then comes, which is the number of completion, right? Full endings. So this is the wounded, we call this the wounded warrior key. I really love how this is depicted in the after tarot. Because I have to tell you, I feel like this wounded warrior guy, this is persevering in the face of challenges and feeling tired and weary. This is Odysseus, like trying to make it home to Penelope. It's that last leg of the journey. I feel like this is people around you. I do. I feel like this wounded warrior, but this is people around you. This could be family, friends, loved ones, partners, people at work. I feel a good group of y'all. And this is you making it work, like standing on your feet, no bandages. See, this is really interesting. Yeah, this is really interesting. Do you see how this dude here has red right here? I feel like he's the one who put the bandage on this dude. You're in a position of being a help and a benefactor and a source of comfort and solace to others. And it feels really nice. It feels really, really nice. I feel like there's good money coming in too. See, a lot of good money and abundance. But it really feels like a Three of Pentacles energy as well, where you're really being seen and appreciated for the unique being that you are, what you uniquely bring to the table. You have the Fool here. This is no surprise either. This is the, start of a fresh, brand new cycle. Remember when I said that it's the 9 to the 10, and then we start again with the Fool with number 0. So I really love that. Might feel like a bit of a hop and a skip, but a jump. And I do feel that for you guys, actually. I do feel like time is about to speed up a bit during this time period. But it's happy. Right? It's not like, oh gosh, just speed. I don't know. It's a happy time jump. It's a happy movement. The Fool, I mean, this is so beautiful. This is really being enjoyment, right? In the enjoyment. This is taking that leap of faith, taking a risk and sticking the landing each and every time. And I really like it. Really beautiful. I also feel like there's something about, do you see how the Fool is living his best life, really happy, smelling this flower, even though his feet don't have anywhere to land quite yet. He's losing some. I do feel like this beautiful energy around you where you are releasing a lot of what you can't control. That's what it feels like. And I'm getting this feeling that might be your advice to others. It's sort of like this message that you're living and learning at the moment, where it's like, man, you can't imagine how much time I'm saving releasing what I can't control, not worrying about what I can't control, not worrying about the future. I'm inoculated against that at the moment. Like, you know what I mean? I feel like that's part of what you're saying to people as well. Some of you guys are reading, I'm getting Ryan Holiday about stoicism. That's for fun. Yep. This is exactly, yeah. So to clarify the Hierophant, we have the Tower. I mean, this is spot on here. Remember when I said, and by the way, like, look at this parallel. Look at the Lovers from the Lovers key falling down, these two people here. And then we have the two people here. And then we have the zebra, black and white, and the gray in the middle. I'm telling you, with this great change coming in here, you're coming off of a time where a lot has been, up in the air, in the unknown, displaced. But even if it's not from that vantage point for you personally, things are different than they were. Like, I don't care who you are, where you are. Like, things are different than how they were. For some are feeling it more than others. Some are pretty much like, wow, I'm rolling with it. But things are different, right? Thus the tower. The tower is the great rearranger coming in when things have gone askew to rearrange things in a given context and on a certain scale, right? Yeah, the snake, see the tree? That's the tree from the Lover's Key. The snake is about healing and transformation as well. So the fact that this is so comforting, because the fact this is clarifying the Hierophant, everything is as it's meant to be. And I really feel like you've gotten this memo and you have found your seat of power on the other side of this change in time. It feels really, you know what? It just feels very healthy, Aries. It feels like you've really got your perspective on lock and key. It feels really good. 9 of Wands. Oh, good. Yes. Oh, that's interesting. On the bottom is that 10 of Wands that I was referencing earlier, which is movement. Yeah, this is not surprising either. With the Queen of Swords here, I just have it on the timer. Yeah, Aries, you're in the sweet spot and seat of power. It's very cool. The Queen of Swords, she's such a beautiful energy to me. She does rule the realm of, the mind and thinking and communication. So again, going back to this therapist, counselor, giving good advice, having a deep-seated, perspective about things. She is an interesting energy too, because she is always going to tell you the truth. It may not be fluffy bunny rabbits and, butterflies and rainbows, but that what she says is the absolute truth and she means every word. And this is hearkening back to the Emperor that I was speaking of earlier with that shadow energy and then turning it on its head, the light side of it, being the zebra. Because the light side of the Emperor energy, which again is y'all, is that they are, the Emperor in alignment is really fair. Really fair, can't be bought. You know what I mean? And always on the money because of it. Always sees things very clearly. Isn't ruled by bias of any kind. That feels really important to say. The Emperor in alignment is not ruled by bias of any kind. And in order to not be ruled by bias of any kind, one has to know thyself. Because sometimes we can carry within us, this feels important. Sometimes we can carry within us bias that is so conditioned from childhood or media or experience or where we grew up, whatever have you, where we don't even realize it. It's like an unconscious bias. And so I do feel like there is this energy of you are in this place where, there's none of that. And if there was, you've really cut it away and you're like, no, I'm really seeing things clearly. You'd be counseling two people that you care very much about, right? But it's, you're being called upon in this way and solicited in this way because you are just non-biased. And it's really beautiful. It's really, really beautiful. Yeah, again, you're in a seat of power. It's very, very cool. Yeah. I want to point something out. You see these 3 people carrying this canoe back here? I'm really drawn to this. 3 is the number of extremes, right? 19 was a 3 year, which was, started us off in 20. It's interesting because the tower is an extreme energy, right? You have 3 major arcanas and you've only pulled 5 keys here. There is this feeling of absolutism. And also this feeling of, this is you in the face of these, extreme energies and change. And I do feel like it might have taken some of you guys some work and time to get there, but you're here now and it feels really lovely. It really, really does. It really does. The Fool. And I feel like your energy is needed right now, Aries. I feel like saying that. There's something about this where it's like having a clear perspective is like the gold right now, especially in a time where it can be difficult to know, what to believe and having to check in regularly and having to be adaptable and flexible. That's what I feel like is making up this seat of power for you. And I do feel like you're coming across as the Hierophant. I feel like the foundation of your seat of power in this time is like on what this is adaptability and this is flexibility. Oops. Adaptability and flexibility are the foundation for your current seat of power. That feels really, really good. If you could bottle that and sell it, never have to work another day in your life. So we have 9 of Swords here. This is really cool. 9 of Swords to clarify the Fool. So 9 of Swords. I mean, I just want you to look at this. Look at this like crazy, scary goblin ghoul with wings. Not even sure what that is supposed to be. Traditionally, the 9 of Swords is sleep patterns. It's not always negative, even though it's depicted here this way. This is about dreamtime activity. It can be about nightmares, but it can also be about prolific and important messages coming to you in your sleeping hours, right? It's interesting because the fact that it's clarifying the Fool here, I do feel like there's an aspect here of where previously you remember what I said about it feels like you are really learning the lesson and have gotten the full memo and mastered the art of releasing what is not in your control. This Nine of Swords, this person sitting up in bed here right now, that's why they're up like this. That's why they're up like this, with their face in their hands, right? It's because they are worried about, this is the kind of mental tension that is about, worry about what we can't control, right? That's what's keeping this person up at night, right? And this is the opposite energy of this. Do you see the two extreme differences in energy here? Up at night, worried about the what ifs and the how to and the should I and the future anxiety, all of this. And then we have the Fool, which is like, I'm literally hanging off the side of a cliff, smelling a flower, right? This is a complete freedom of mind and body and spirit. And I do feel like it's such a beautiful release for you around this. And I feel like some of you guys, yeah, like I said, this took time. This was a process of achieving this flip of perspective and new reality and energy. I do feel like it's going to be around a while. I am getting a message for you guys though around this. It's always good advice, but I feel like for you guys in particular, because I do feel like you're going to be there a lot for other people. Okay. To pace yourself and do self-care check-ins. That's another aspect of the Emperor that sometimes he could improve on, and why the Empress is a beautiful counter energy and partner to him. Sometimes he does forget about self-care because he can think a lot about others. He's always putting others before himself, the Emperor is, and I feel like that's coming through for you as well. Also, if you think about counselors and therapists and people who are, mediators and empaths and who are always there for other people with the zebra energy there, they can forget to put themselves first as well, filling up their own cup before they can turn around and offer it to others. So I do feel like that is a point of advice for you as well. But this is beautiful. It really, really is. Let's get a feathered messenger. A bit of a new setup here, by the way. If you haven't noticed, Lady Crow is living her best vacation life. So, okay, I love this so much. So you have the owl here, which is so, so lovely and beautiful. The owl is about clear seeing and clear perspective, and the owl sees just as clearly at nighttime as it does during the day. So again, we're going back to this black and white and gray area and how you see things and your vision point and your perspective. And that's really, really cool here. It just feels like you're in alignment around that. I love that. There's also this aspect of the owl where, and I want to bring this up, the owl is a predator, right? The owl is a predator, and it really does go after prey when and as needed. And there's this certain energy here, because I'm going back to the Queen of Swords here and the Tower. Sometimes, and I do feel like some of you guys are going to be in this position. I do have this feeling for some of you guys. Okay. There are going to be people, right, at any given time. We are our choices. And there are going to be people at any given time who choose to tell themselves a certain story or a certain version of something and then choose to repeat the script over and over and over. And they keep, do you ever have someone or someone's who ask you for advice about the same thing over and over, and you keep giving advice and it's just, they don't take it, or they just, and you realize they don't actually want your advice. They just want to sit in that energy and recycle it over and over and over and over and over because it's feeding some sort of, trauma that they need to live in and learn from at the moment. Because back to this Queen of Swords, I do feel like there's an aspect of you where you're going to be, brandishing that sword as it were, and just going, okay, I'm going to set some boundaries here because I care about you. We're not going to keep recycling this script. I've said A, B, and C. I'm here for you. I'm listening. But at a certain point, I'm enabling you to continue on with this script. And I will tell you, the ABCs and the 1, 2, 3s about what I observe within you and what I would do if I were you. I just heard that. What I would do if I were you. There is something about that as well, about you kind of, cutting through the grain, cutting the mustard, something like that, kind of cutting through and just kind of laying it down. But and again, back to this Hierophant, but it really does feel like it's the best thing you could possibly do. It's, sometimes people just need to hear that, right? Yeah, but it feels good and needed. So this says your intuition is correct. Follow your inner wisdom without fail. I absolutely love this. If you think about it, your intuition, a lot of the times we're being there for other people and we're listening. It is our intuition that we're steeping into and operating from, which allows us to know what to say, how to say it, and what to refrain from saying as well. And yeah, I do feel like this is in the context of two different things. I feel like on one aspect, this has to do with you and realizing, what you can and cannot control and releasing that. Right? Stepping into this new energy of like, wow, I would much rather be the fool than embody a Nine of Swords, right? And this is a major arcana too, along with the Hierophant and the Tower, which indicates that, you're in alignment, you're where you're meant to be. This is destiny speaking, right? If you see a minor arcana and you don't particularly like it, you can change it, right? Majors are a bit different. They're more soul markers in the road. So this is a significant time for you, that is for sure. But at the end of the day, how you see things, your perspective, your approach to things, very, very important. So I feel like that's one aspect of it. The other aspect, like I said, with this owl energy is that you are seeing others very clearly from your seat of power, and you are making decisions and coming from a perspective that is informed and experienced. And that's really, really beautiful. Really, really beautiful. Oh, I just saw you on the timer. You better work it out, Aries. All right, darlings. Wow. Very good. This is your first half of my general reading. I so hope that this helped and resonated. Again, I feel like you're being the zebra with and for yourself and cutting out aspects of yourself or patterns that don't work anymore and that you've just outgrown and are tired of. And/or this is, with and for other people as well. It's really beautiful. Well done. If this resonated, I so hope it did. Please let me know in the comments below. I just love reading your comments so much, and I would appreciate that. Let me know how you doing and where you at, what's going on. And most of all, and as always, beautiful, beautiful Aries. Thank you for being you, and be well. Until next time.